Hey, how's it going? I'm going to make coasters today, and I have my tea mug right here. And I have this coaster that I'm currently using for my coffee. And the kitties are cutouts from the Purina Friskies boxes that contain the 5.5 ounce cans. And see this that's the cutout. This is what it looks like on the cardboard. Also, I apologize that I have a cold and my voice sounds like it might be an octave lower than it normally is. But it just makes it more soothing, right? So this is the one that I use right now for my coffee mug and my tea mug in the morning. And it used to be a squeegee. So what I did was I took two of the... I'm going to show you. This is an empty box, and it has one end is open, and the other end, the bottom part here, what I did was I took, I think, the purple box. They're both set up the same way. I cut out this flap. Usually I take these suckers apart and these boxes, and I save these walls here because they're good for various crafting items. But this one I saved because I'll probably put a black, not a black trash bag, but a trash bag in here and use it to collect scraps, crafting scraps. But I wanted to show you where these kitties are coming from. And so this little kitty right here is from one of those flaps. And this one right here, I'm going to say this one and this one are from the side walls. Like that one. And originally it was just two pieces stuck together. Let me show that. And what I did was, so they weren't quite square. They kind of had that odd shape from the flap. And I kind of cut them down, and I added two more pieces from this wall right here, and probably from a blue wall, I think. And I glued those together, and then I put these two that were glued and the other two glued, and I glued them together to make a little bit more thickness here. Not quite a 1/4 of an inch, I don't think. Or maybe it is a 1/4 of an inch. Well, with the cork on, it's a 1/4 of an inch. But then I thought, I think I can turn this into a coaster because I do have adhesive-backed cork. So I added, this is only 1 millimeter thick, I added it. The adhesive is horrible, by the way, so I had to, oh, that's right, I'm sorry. The adhesive on the back of the cork is weak. So what I had to do was lift some of these up and put wet glue down and glue it that way. But this is the one I use for my coffee and for my tea. Okay, so I want to make, this is an ongoing one I've been thinking about. I'm thinking about right now, I'm going to take that off. I'm thinking about joining these two together like this. I have to make them straighter because they're not kissing each other here. And I want to make them about 5.5 inches total length. So earlier I was measuring, and I was thinking, do I even know what I'm doing? What am I doing here? I'm going to turn it over because it's a lot easier. Another coaster that I'm working on is is with these, and these are the lids to tissue boxes. So what I did with that was I took 2 regular pieces, or 1 piece of cardboard, and cut out 2 of these shapes, which is this shape, of course. And then the first idea was to have 2 of these like this, and one side would get cardboard and the other would not, and would just get decoration like this one. And then, and I do have to, since it's a coaster, I have to keep it flat here, you know, so I don't have a wobbly surface for my mug. And that would fit perfectly. It even kind of hides it. So that's another one I'm working on. So what I'm trying to do is use up whatever I have, so I'm not spending a lot of money on stuff. Although I did have to buy more adhesive back cork. And so I bought 2mm thick and 1/8 inch thick. Let's see if I can get a clear focus. There we go. Wow. That one is, what is that? What did I say? About 1/8 of an inch. This one is 2mm. It's not quite 8.5 by 11. It's more like 8.3 by 11.8 or something like that. I think that's exactly the measurement. This is just 2mm, 1mm thicker than the kitty coaster. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I was planning on making this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches. So to do that, I need to cut not this much off, but half of this. What is this? Fortunately, I got a ruler on the mat here. That is a horrible. I'm sorry. That is a lovely. We're turning horrible into a positive word. You know, like, man, that's sick. Okay. So, what is that? I wanted to measure this width. And it is, that's a bad measuring thing. It is roughly, wow. This ruler, from 0 to 1 inch, 30 seconds of an inch. So, because that is way too busy for my brain right now, I am going to remove that area. Okay, it is, what is that? 7/8 of an inch? What is half of 7/8 of an inch? Half of 7 is 3.5. 3.5 eighths. 1, 2, 3. Is that right? It looks like I'm coloring here crookedly. Crooked. Okay. So now I know that's on the tape, but I am going to okay, so this would be 3/8 of an inch up from the edge there. I have to do it this way. that kind of curves up a bit. It's very disturbing. Oh, come on. Come on. Don't move it. Also, I'm at a weird spot here. I want to make it visible to you, which makes it harder for me to see. And I'm at the very edge here of how the mat is going off my table edge. I need a better desk. But that's not in the budget right now. Okay. Well, I'm gonna measure again. Okay. Oh, that looks like it's is that my imagination? It's going to be, I'm going to have cardboard underneath it. A cardboard box flap is going to be underneath it. So even if I can kind of see it coming through, or kind of see like this looks like a tiny gap, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take that. Okay, so this is, and we want to put this to here, off to the side, I mean, and gonna grab this one. I'm gonna grab this one and I'm gonna cut a piece off. Now, I have a boatload of cardboard. I've been reducing the amount of cardboard I have. The smaller flaps I tend to keep around just for, you know, the crafting of it. Okay. Let's check these out. Now with this one, I want to point out that the corrugated, you can't really tell here, but when I cut them out, I cut it so the corrugation went this way for one strip and this way for another strip. But when I looked at it, I was like, this I can kind of see is different. That's the open end there of corrugation. So it was kind of weird. I don't know if it made any difference, but this one I did not do that, where I could have done it like that. The corrugation does have a different look depending on what side you have it on. I guess you can kind of see it on that one. Okay, so we have that. And that. Yeah! Okay, and we have that. So, okay, what was that about? No! You can't be over. Flip it over. This side, this edge is too, that was weird. This back end is a little bit longer. That was so strange. Ooh, that is cool. I really like that. That is cool. Okay, then these I'm going to glue them. So glue like that. I have to say that. I'll forget it as I'm rummaging around looking for my glue. Glue. This edge seems like it's sticking out a little bit more, even though this seems to be flush here. But that's okay because I can still trim that part off, and I might be able to do it with this pair. I'm going to wait until that dries before I do it, but I don't think I'm going to have to. How's that look? I like it. I answered my own question. Wait, am I seeing? I'm just like taking some of probably the glue from my hand here. Yes. Just a minute. Okay, so let that dry for a bit. Okay, this one. I am just gonna do this one. Do I want to do that one or that side? Or this side? I don't think it matters. Does it matter? Everything matters. And nothing matters. So you can, if you have any scraps you don't know what to do with, just make coasters with them. Okay, I want to move that over so it matches. I can see a little bit of glue sticking off my finger. That is horrible. And this one, I trying to use. I think I'm gonna use. Lots of thinking. Constant thinking. The 2mm. For this one, I think I'm gonna use the 1/8 inch. Oh, yeah, for this one, the 1/8 inch for this one, because I think cutting, especially this part, right, might be a bit on the difficult side. Let's see, Daddy. I generally don't like going to the edge, especially when I have curves that I have to trace. Because it's harder to cut, I have discovered. There's like almost no nib on this pen. Good thing I have another set. Okay. Now let's see if I can cut it without. I'm gonna cut hopefully on the inside of it. And a dog. That silly dog. And remind myself not to touch with my fingers, not to touch the marker. Because this is glossy paper. So I will smear it off. I don't think it's gonna dry on the glossy paper. Well, the ink. It is permanent. It's a Copic 2 multi-liner pen. But I don't think it's permanent on this surface, this white surface here. I hear the train. Also, if this is a little bit less or smaller than the what I'm going to adhere it to, that I'm totally okay with that, because if anything, it's about the same size. This is more rounded off than this is. And this, I don't think there's any happy medium here. Okay, let's see. I like it like that, nice and gentle slopes, and it's pointer up here. That's okay. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's try and put it on. Does that look like... Oh. It's glossy. You can see how shiny it is. I'm putting glue down. Because I don't want it coming off. I don't want it coming up halfway through the night, or I wake up and I see that there's no, it's like curled or something and sticking up. Nope, I want to eliminate that because the adhesive on these cork sheets is not very good. I already know that because of the sheets that... Oh, also, maybe, just maybe, I have some... I was thinking maybe I would have some wiggle room, but... I kinda had some wiggle room. I was able to remove it a little bit before I totally put it down. If this is off, like, as you can see, I can see that. I'll probably trim that down. Let me see. Also, you do have to be careful with corkboard because it breaks easily, and I'll show you. I'll show you what I mean in a minute with the kitty coaster. So, what kind of cold is going around? I'm telling you. What kind of rhinovirus is going around this nation? Because, or at least in Texas. It knocked me for a wallop. I was like, whoa. And I think in January, sometime in January, I was telling my friend, talking to her on the phone, and I said, I was really surprised that I didn't get a cold last year. Usually I get one in the fall semester every other year, so every 2 years I get a cold. And I said, I did not get one at all. Then last week, I got hit with one heck of a cold. And I was like, I told my friend, I jinxed myself. And I told her, I said, I have a cold. And she's like, what? No, you don't. What? When's the last time you had a cold? And I said, 2023. 2023. Oh, I got it. Okay. Now, should I have glued that on? So, yeah. No. That doesn't matter because I have one of these. And it's the same exact size. Put it right there. And I'm going to do it this way. I want to do it on that side. Also, I might use... Does it matter? Let's do it in the middle. Okay, this is the 1mm cork, 1mm thick cork, and as you can see here, I had to put a little piece here because what I had on there, I broke, and I was like, oh, this piece broke, so I just kind of trimmed it off a little and just kind of glued it back on there. And this side, I was able to just, I think when I put this one on, I intentionally cut it apart right there, and then I just glued it in place. So it doesn't, that one doesn't look as bad. This one looks kind of I might fix that later. Who knows? Okay, so I'm gonna do this one. Can I glue that? I don't have to rough it up a bit. Now I might still do, especially if this shows wrinkles from the glue, I might be putting... I like it. I mean, it's nice and plain and simple and has a really cool design. Courtesy of the tissue boxes. Pays to collect those things. And we have this right here. Now what can I put on here to weight that down? The whole thing fits on there, so I'm going to... And it's got a little... Now, the question I have, I just think that's kind of interesting that I put the oval there. That's perfect. The question I have that I might not be able to do on camera because, yeah, we're into an hour, but hopefully all the cutting that I did, I was able to put in fast forward, is do I want to leave this open? This will dry clear. So do I want to leave this open to show the corrugation, or do I want to put... I wonder if I can put... I'm trying to picture it. Cork around the edge there. That I would have to give some thought to. And if you have any ideas of what I can put around the edge, I could put... I don't have any, but lace or some type of a doily thing would work there too, and even go around the edge there. I do not have lace or doily. I will definitely have to think, what do I have that is almost like that? I have no idea. What do I have? Paper towels. I could put a bunch of holes in them. And then we have this one. I don't know why I'm putzing there, but I am. And this one, again, we have a glossy... I'm not sure if this is the same brand. This is from Bena Create. And this might also be the same brand. Yes. B-E-N-E. Bene Create, maybe B-E-N-E-C-R-E-A-T. They're by the same company. And I think I've gotten something from them. Not the... I also have 6x6 inch by V Vivid that I've had for a long time. Those, when I use those, that's what this is. I might have to maybe put the 2mm on there on top of that if I can. This is 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to see. Now that one's straight edge. I can do pen. Why do I toss that thing? It survived. Okay, so this one, it is a little bit over, just a little bit. Let me see, maybe it's not. Oh, let me do it this way. It's a little bit over. But I think it would be easier to trim it after I glue it. That's very interesting. Oh, the joys of measuring. Oh, do I want to... Okay, I also wanted to mention that I pinned a comment to the slider tray for Cat's Cube. I had to make an adjustment. I'm gonna tell you about that. I had to make an adjustment, which means I had to, I noticed that Blue would lie on the floor. I'm afraid to look right now. Would lie on the floor in front, you know, with the, like the cat cube is here, and he would lie like here, and then he would reach his paw out and kind of pull the cat cube toward him. You know, this is boredom. He's bored. Mommy's too busy or something to play with him. Poor deprived kitty. And he realized that he could probably pull. He was trying to pull the cave or cube or whatever it's called. I'm going to call it a cave because he crawls in it like it's a cave. The cave away from the slider tray so that he could lie down on the slider tray. He has not yet laid down on that slider tray, and I fixed it so he can't lie down on it. So one time I picked up the cave, and when I did, he got up right away, and he was going to plop himself down on that cardboard slider tray, and I'm like, nope, and I picked that up right away so he couldn't do it. He was really bummed about that. I was surprised he didn't tell me about it. Like, hey! So I told him, I said, no, I have to put these together. So what I did was I put, let's try this one. Cork is very easy to cut, by the way. This cork is very easy to cut, or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's not that easy to cut. So what I did was I took fabric. I'm going to show you because I have the fabric sticky back or self-adhesive, whatever it's called, Velcro for fabric. And the underside, by the way, of the cave is not extremely flimsy, but because it comes already collapsed, it's pliable and flexible enough. But when it's put together or set up, it's not as flimsy as I thought it was. I think what I said was from what I remember when I was trying to unfold it. It's very easy to set up. So I fixed the slider tray. Oh, I used this Velcro for fabrics sticky back for fabrics tape. That sounds weird, right? And because the covering, the cave is covered with I think it's probably polyester fabric. And also on the side, the back corner that sticks out that Blue can see, that's facing the kitchen, he has already started using the cave, that side there, as a scratching pole. And I've already yelled at him one time about that. That one time I was like, what are you doing, Blue? Like, I did that today. And he got up and squirreled himself into the cave because Mommy yelled at him. I was like, well, that actually gets you to stop, so I'm okay with that. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a creative day. Bye.